The GOAT debate just flipped. With Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev crashing the conversation, every legend's resume suddenly shows a crack. Give me 7 minutes, and I'll pinpoint the single biggest hole in each GOAT case, and what it means for who truly sits on top.
If the MMA GOAT list used to feel settled, 2025 shook it up. Training has fully integrated, wrestling chains into striking entries, cagecraft into scrambling, and recovery science keeping athletes sharper longer. Champions like Topuria and Makhachev don't just win, they solve elite problems in real time. That forces us to judge greatness with modern criteria. Strength of schedule, dominance against ranked opposition, longevity inside a deep division, adaptability across styles, and, yes, how the final chapters shape public trust. With that in mind, let's be precise about the biggest flaw holding each all-timer back from being undisputed. Start with Jon Jones, the lightning rod. On paper, his resume is absurd. Multiple generations of contenders beaten, championships across eras, and a skill set that bends fights toward his strengths. But the single biggest problem with his GOAT case is the compound effect of optics, an anti-doping history that created lingering questions, plus late-career decision-making that looked like legacy management more than risk acceptance. Fans can live with one controversy, they struggle with a pattern. Layer on a few razor-close nights and the perception that certain matchups, like a prime, surging interim champion, were delayed or deprioritized while other legacy-friendly options were pursued, and the trust balance dips. Fair or not, GOAT talk happens in public, and public confidence is part of the currency. If your standard is, who beat the most elite names, Jones still scores massively. If your standard adds, and did it without significant clouds or careful calendar control, that's where his case takes the hit. Khabib Nurmagomedov is the mirror image. His flaw isn't performance, it's sample size. He gave us immaculate rounds, emphatic wins over top names, and a style opponents could predict but not solve. The problem for the GOAT argument is that the championship window was brief. We didn't see the attrition years, mandatory rematches against fully adjusted challengers, defenses across multiple stylistic archetypes, and the grind of 5, 6, 7 consecutive title fights where the target on your back gets bigger every camp. Khabib's perfection created an aura, but it also preserved unknowns. Would the body hold up? Would the skill set need reinvention? We never got those chapters. If your criterion is most dominant at peak, Khabib is an A+. If your criterion is dominance sustained against a conveyor belt of elite contenders, the short run is the blemish. St-Pierre is the coach's GOAT. Game plans that felt inevitable. Timing as a weapon, risk minimized without losing control. His flaw is about texture, not totals. A long decision-heavy reign invited the safe label, and the ultra-close fight with Johnny Hendricks added a permanent asterisk in barstool debates. You can argue GSP edged it. The point is that it was human, and the GOAT conversation is where we split hairs. The counterweight is strong. Longevity, ranked wins, 2-division success. But for fans who prize violence and finish rate, his style leaves emotional space between best ever and most effective ever. If you value sustained excellence against the deepest competition, GSP may still be your number one. If you prioritize emphatic endings, the case loses some shine. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson built the most complete operating system the sport has seen. Transitions in motion, decision-making a beat ahead, and a highlight reel that looks like a tutorial. His flaw is the perception of opposition quality. Flyweight during his prime wasn't stacked with crossover names, and the market punished him for that. The irony? Dominance can make a division look shallow because one fighter erases parity. Still, GOAT conversations often ask, how many future Hall of Famers did you beat in their prime? And that's where his resume gets graded on a curve. It's not a knock on skill, his is pristine. It's the reality that his challengers didn't carry the same marquee weight, which dulls the impact in public debate even if it shouldn't. Anderson Silva is the artist. Prime Anderson didn't outpoint people. He rewired their sense of distance, drew them into traps, and finished with a flourish. The flaw is twofold. First, middleweight depth during the heart of his reign wasn't what it is today, so the cumulative strength of schedule lags behind modern divisions. Second, the late career slide reframed the masterpiece for a lot of fans. Legends sticking around isn't unique, but those final images, losses piling up, live rent-free in memory and get unfairly back-projected onto the peak. If your criterion is most breathtaking prime, Anderson grades near the top. If your criterion demands an extended run against a Shark Tank resembling 2025's top 15, he drops a tier. So what did Topuria and Makhachev do to this picture? They raised the bar for what modern looks like. Topuria blends one-shot power with pocket defense and takedown awareness, a finisher's mindset with champion composure. Makhachev applies pressure grappling that travels into every exchange, now layered with calibrated striking and a champion's patience. Their potential flaw, just like Khabib's, is time. To turn a terrifying prime into a GOAT resume, you need volume against elite opposition, and the kind of defenses that survive rematches, injuries, and stylistic whiplash. If they stack those, they'll force a reshuffle at the very top. Here's the clean way to argue GOAT without talking past each other. Define your criteria. If you rank by sustained excellence in deep divisions, GSP sits extremely high. If you rank by peak dominance and fear factor, Khabib and Anderson have a claim. If you rank by complete skill composition and innovation, Demetrius is your blueprint. If you rank by breadth of elite scalps across multiple eras, Jones still towers, while carrying the heaviest narrative tax. And if you include a modernization factor, whose style maps best onto today's integrated game, Makhachev and Topuria are the names to watch. Your turn. What do you value most? Peak, longevity, strength of schedule, or evolution? Drop your top 5 and the one criticism that keeps your number 1 from being bulletproof. If this helped sharpen your argument, hit like, subscribe for weekly deep dives, and share this with the friend whose GOAT list hasn't changed since 2002. The next performance might make us rewrite it all anyway, and that's why we watch.